Yo, what up, you guys? Just kind of playing around with this 2-5-1 thing and some major positions. A Dorian. Alright, enough of that boring stuff. So, you're tired of playing the blues and you want to learn something a little more sophisticated. So, you want to get into some jazz. But it all looks so complex. The chord shapes don't look the same. So, it's a new language. It's a new accent in the language of music, okay? And it's hard for our brains to have fun with something we don't understand. So I'm here to help you understand it a little bit better. We're going to start off in the simplest form. Now I could go down a list of 16 different chord shapes and chords that you're going to need to know to play all the jazz standards. But the first jazz standard is probably going to include maybe 3 or 4 chords. So I'll teach you those, and it's the typical 2-5-1 if you ever heard of it. We'll do it where the 2 and the 5 share a measure, and then we'll do like the 2-5-1 where the 2, the 5, and the 1 and get their own measure. So let's begin. I got my little espresso here. I had a comment on my last video. A guy was saying, "Hey man, why not just drink your coffee before you're streaming and just get on with it already?" So I thought I'd pour the tiniest cup I could and sip on that for this one. But anyways, the first chord we're going to learn for this progression, here we are, let's see. It's going to be an A minor 7. Okay? How to fret that very quickly. There's 2 ways that people do it. I do it this way, and I'll show you the other way. So the way I do it, you're going to put your second finger on your 5th fret A string, or E string, sorry. You're going to skip the A string, okay? So important to note with these jazz chords, you're going to be muting your A string and your high E a lot of the times, okay? So first one, middle finger, 5th fret, low E string, skip the A string, index finger, Actually, here's how we're going to do it. Index finger, I'm sorry guys. Index finger, low E string, 5th fret. Skip the A string. Second or middle finger on the 5th fret, D string. Ring finger on the G string, 5th fret. And then your pinky stacked right underneath on the B string, 5th fret. So everything's on the 5th fret here. The skin from my index finger is muting my A string. So when I strum over everything, only my E, D, G, and B strings are ringing out, and my pinky skin is also muting my high E string here. Okay, so that's your first chord. So that's an A minor 7. That's a minor 7 shape. If I was to take it a step down, that would be a G minor 7, right? Whole step down from A is G. But this song's going to be using the A minor 7, okay? Next chord you're going to want to learn is going to be your D9 chord. Okay, this is a 9 chord. So notice the root right here is the D. So if this is a D9, that's going to be an E9, right? So memorize what a ninth chord shape is. This is rooted on the A string, okay? So it's going to be middle finger 5th fret A string, index finger 4th fret D string, ring finger 5th fret G string, and pinky finger 5th fret B string. Okay? So we got the first one is going to be an A minor 7, or excuse me. Okay. Then we're going to a D9. So get used to that. Change. And the next chord is going to be a G major 7, rooted on the low E string. So this is going to be like taking a B minor chord rooted on the A string, right? Take your index finger, go up a string and up a fret on that G, but keep the shape down here the same. So to go down the line, it's going to be index finger on the 3rd fret, low E string, mute or skip the A string, ring finger on the 4th fret D string, pinky finger on the 4th fret D string, and then second or middle finger on the 3rd fret B string. Okay, so there's a G major 7. Okay, lock that shape into your brain. Okay. That would be a B major 7, because the root note is on a B. That would be an A major 7. In this case, we're using a G major 7. So far, we've got A minor 7, D9, G major 7. Now I want to do a C major 7, rooted on the A string. Okay, just like a C major chord, but instead it's going to be index finger 3rd fret of the A string, ring finger 5th fret of the D string. Your middle finger is going to come down on the 4th fret of the G string, and then your pinky is going to be on the 5th fret of the B string. And you could bar this in the back here, and even add that E string with this chord, because it's just an octave of this note. So with these major 7 chords, you don't have to include that high E string, but you can. Okay, so all together we've got this is the full 2-5-1 where every note gets a measure. Okay, so we're gonna start on the minor 2 here. It's the A minor 7 to the D9 to the G major 7 to the C major 7. Okay, so that's the chord progression. Now let's add some bass line mixed in with that. It's very easy, okay? And all we're going to kind of do is use neighboring tones. Well, what are neighboring tones? It's literally just a half step above or below the root note of the chord you're playing. So I'll start out with the A minor 7. So in in the 2-5-1 where the 2 and the 5 share a measure, you've got see what I'm doing there? So I'm starting that first note, then I'm going a half step below so I'm going like a D flat or C sharp and then D. And notice like I lead the bass line with the finger that roots the shape of the chord. So then I go a half step above the G, G sharp. So the finger that roots the chord shape leads the bass line. So, you know. Whoops, let me do that again. Okay, when we get to that D major 7. So you get that D major 7, go a half step down to the neighboring tone, or to the third note, and restart the lick, or the riff. Change up, instead of going from the sharp neighboring tone, you can use a flat neighboring tone in the bass line, so you can have and you can mix it up. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it, you know, your own. So hopefully you can loop that. And if you know your, this is in the key of G major, so if you know the 5 patterns of your G major scale, start, familiarize yourself with the rhythm here. Make sure you got it down, repeat it 120 times if you have to. Put a loop on, or a backing track in this key, whatever, and play around with that G major scale, okay? Just for starters, let's start out in the pattern 3, which would be the Phrygian mode, okay? So just kind of try to find melodies within the shape of the scale. Now there's other ways we can try to find leads in, or come up with lead licks and melodies, like learning the arpeggios of these chord shapes, but we'll get into that with another video. I just want you to kind of get the jazz rhythm down, right, and start playing all of those patterns in the major scale, and just see what you can find, you know. That basic Ionian shape. So, okay, we know the major scale patterns. Well, if you know the circle of fifths, and let's see if I can pull up a little quick drawing that I have in my notebook here. You see G? You see that letter G right there? You see how it's like has that little slash and there's a little E, a lowercase e. Well, that's to relate. That's to show that the relative minor in the G major scale is E minor. Okay, so the sixth note in the G major scale is E minor, and that's basically if you follow the scale from the E and recycle it, you're playing the E minor E natural minor scale. Well, to simplify the E natural minor scale, just think about the E minor pentatonic scale. I know we've talked about that. So in the key of G major, you can play the shapes of that E minor pentatonic, the 5 shapes of that, which you'll see actually border or line up with those 5 major scale patterns in the key of G. So here's that E minor pentatonic, and this would be the pattern 5 of G. You know? Here's shape 3 in the minor pentatonic, or what you would consider pattern 2 of the G major scale. So go back and forth. So that's the gist of it, guys. Wanted to keep it quick today. In future videos, we'll talk about, like I said, the 16 or 18 or 20 different chord shapes you need to familiarize yourself with. We've gotten past that major bar chord shape and that minor bar chord shape, right? And typically, and almost really in jazz, you're not going to see bar chords or power chords. It's totally different. It's a different language, okay? But it'll come. I promise. I'm still, breaking out of my blues and rock and roll rut, which it's not a rut. I love the blues, love rock and roll, love funk. But we want to broaden our vocabulary, right, of sound. We're not going to be discriminatory because, you come to find out the greatest guitar players take a little bit from here and there, and whatever. So you got to be, like I said, you got to be honest with yourself, what you know and what you don't know. And if something, it hurts your brain to learn, or if you just don't enjoy it, it's probably because you don't know it. So here it is. Here's the very basics of jazz. Hopefully you can start, like I said, laying down a loop, playing that major scale over it, and relating that minor pentatonic shape to that major scale, and seeing how you can throw in those major intervals into those minor pentatonic shapes. In the next coming videos, we'll talk more about how to properly lead through the chord changes. In other words, like if I was to cut off the backing track, you could hear what parts of the song we're in just by the notes that I choose to express in the lead. So, but for now, keep it simple. work on that progression. You know, one more time, it's that A minor 7, D9, G major 7, C major 7. Throw the bass line in there. So notice this song doesn't start on the 1, okay? Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell so you know when I go live next. My books are coming out shortly. Get ready for those. Once again, guys, thanks for watching.